Hello everybody, welcome to my first tier list YouTube video, and today I'll be covering all the ranked characters that I deem to be OP, good, decent, bad, or unplayable, right? Don't mind these characters I put in first, it's just so it looks nicer right now. It doesn't represent anything, I'll move them around in a second, but yeah. This is coming from the perspective of a high grandmaster, DE player, competitive player, um, and I'll even talk about some of the roles, their competition, and yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. I will not be covering characters like Aladdin, Kabrakan, Geb, etc. They're not out on this ranked patch until for at least like a month, I think. So we will be starting off with Amaterasu. And Amaterasu, safe way to fucking start it out, she's going into OP because this is because of her current passive, right? Increased damage to like everything. So you can do extra damage to Fire Giant, to Gold Fury, basically every objective on the map. And her current build, which is Death's Toll, Sunbeam Bow, Raga's Harp, Core, which is just very broken right now, especially because Berserkers has a good stat as well right now. So that's why she's going into OP tier. She just kills everybody very easily, kills objectives easily. She can solo fire jump by herself, like game full build. And yeah. Next up is Anher. Anher, I'm gonna say is bad, actually. I'm gonna say Anher's bad. This is because he's just not as good as all the rest of the ADCs right now. Like if I pick Anher and I'm versus Medusa or Jingwei or Danzabro even, I'm gonna have a rough time. His ult doesn't do that much. It gives him CC immunity. His 2 doesn't do much damage as well. You can't really skill diff anybody in this game. It's like, even if you're a good Anher player, you're just gonna get fucked in the matchup because your character is just bad. And that's why he's going into bad tier. Moving on, Anubis. I actually think he's good. I think Anubis is really good right now. This is because mages in general are pretty broken. All their items are amazing. Anubis's burst on his ultimate really gave him a lot of viability now in mid and solo even. And I think Soul Gem being really core right now with having amazing stats is really good for Anubis. And like you can literally, as soon as you get Soul Gem first item, you can actually 1v2 a jungler and their mid laner, or a jungler and their soul laner, um, quite well and reliably, unless it's like a really bad matchup. Now, Aphrodite, I think Aphrodite is OP. Oh, that moved Kabrakan. Aphrodite is OP as fuck because they randomly decided to give a dash to her ult, and they randomly decided to reset her bird's cooldown whenever you ult as well. And the amount of kills I've gotten by just threeing, ulting, and threeing again, and just them just dying to the dot is insane. And in late game, of course, you just link to your best hyper carry, like your jungler or your ADC, and you just link to them from solo or mid lane, and you just let them do all the work. You try and make them survive. It's just insanely broken right now, and you do a lot of damage, and you heal for a lot because they give her 3 in scaling. Ares, I thought he was borderline unplayable for a while, but I think right now he's actually moved up to just being bad. And this is because he's only bad, like this is in quotations, right? Because if he's versus a comp that has like Fenrir solo, Susano jungle, um, I don't know, Cern ADC, Zeus mid, like he's actually gonna do pretty well into that comp. But if he's versus like any other comp, like he's just very like matchup dependent. It's kind of terrible. But he only moved up from unplayable to bad because they made his ult be able to cripple enemies. So if you ult somebody, they wouldn't be able to dash. Like a Fenrir wouldn't be able to leap or tree, or you know. I think it just makes the most sense to put him there. Moving on to Athena, I think Athena is really good right now. This is mainly jungle Athena. I don't think Athena support or Athena solo is that great at the moment. I think Athena mid could be okay. Go the same build as you would in jungle, just minus the jungle starter, of course, for like a conduit. I think she's really good right now. She has a lot of setup. You can ult around the map, which is just global presence. That's always broken as fuck in game modes like ranked and like low competitive levels. And yeah, she does a lot of damage, a lot of easy to follow setup. Her fucking camp clear is crazy. Just really good right now. Moving on to Bacchus. I think Bacchus is also just bad. Like, Bacchus, he gets shut down so easy. He has no CC immunity until he gets his beads out of him. Um, his leap, like, they nerfed his damage so much, he's not even threatening to a backliner anymore. Like, they've just kind of nerfed him way too much, I think. Like, of course you can still play him, but I think I'd only play Bacchus if literally every other support was taken away from me. Like, Ymir's gone, Yamoja's gone, fucking Herc is gone, I'd play Herc over him, Baron's gone, fucking Fenrir's gone, Epri's gone, you know? There's a lot of things that have to happen. That'd be like two support bans, Cylinder picks something, Ymir picks something, fucking supporting fucking I mean, like a support god in like jungle, support god in support god in solo, like Sobek or some shit. That's when you pick Bacchus. But like other than that, I'd probably stay clear from him. I'm actually gonna put him at the bottom of bad because I think he's actually way worse than Ares right now. Moving on to Baron Samedi, I'm gonna put this guy in good. I think Baron used to be very broken, and they significantly nerfed him a lot, like 3 patches in a row or something. Nerfed his heal, nerfed his passive, nerfed his 1 damage. Yeah, he used to be really broken, especially with like a comp with like a Mori Baron, and then you have two Baron sucks, and it's just very aids to play versus. But yeah, he's still in a really good spot. Like, I'd play him in support if I could. I'd play him in solo if I could. Like, he's still playable in every lane. So, and he does a lot of damage. He's very tanky. You can barely like ever kill him if he ever ults anything because of the mitt that he has on his ult. Yeah, very good. Definitely play him. Bellona right now, I think is actually decent. And she used to be borderline unplayable. But the reason why she's indecent right now is because of the Sunbeam Bow Braga's meta, right? So let's say you're versus an Amaterasu, right? In lane. Someone's blocked an Ama. The only thing you can really do to contest that is pick either like Hades or Bellona, right? And this is because Bellona has pressure versus her level 1 until like level 5, or until first back as well. Depends whenever they get their Sunbeam Bow. And then you can actually box her as well. If you both have the same items, you can box her pretty well, reasonably well. And yeah, but the problem is that late game you are just way more useless than an Amma because you have to full commit into a backline, and she doesn't. She just hangs around, tries 1v1ing a jungler, split pushes very safely. So that's why Bellona's indecent. She used to be really bad, but these items are so broken that it actually moved her up a bit. Moving on to Kern, I think Kern is. I'm gonna say Kern is OP. And this is because he's the best ADC in my eyes right now. Especially for a game mode like ranked. This is because you go Axe, you go Sunbeam Bow, you go Bright Eyes Harp, you kill everybody, you go Berserkers, you go Shifter Shield, you're unkillable, you kill everybody. You got like an XC, you do all the objectives on the map, like, and he does way too much damage, he has so much early pressure, it's very hard to shut him down. That's why I think he's OP as fuck. Cupid right now, I think is decent. I think he's decent if you get him into the right comp. Like if you're versus people like okay, I think Cupid into CERN is a pretty good matchup for Cupid because of his ult, he can really set up for ganks. Especially it kind of forces CERN to go beads. If he goes like Blink or Aegis, he can't really get out of your ult, and he just kind of dies to ganks. I'd say it's probably the best pick into him right now. And yeah, you go the same build on him. Go fucking, you go Axe, Sunbeam Bow, Braggers Harp. I'm not sure if you go defense on Cupid, but you definitely could. You could just go the same build, honestly. Moving on to Danzaburou. I think Danzaburou is actually good right now. This is because once again, Sunbeam Bow, Braggers Harp, very OP items. He has strength and scaling, Cupid strength and scaling, Amma strength and scaling, CERN strength and scaling. You know, they all make use of it really well. But I think Danza is really good if CERN's banned. If CERN's banned and you want like some early pressure pick in ADC, I think you should go Danza Burrow. Don't mind the voice crack, guys. This is because he just has a lot of pressure. His CC, his self peel. He can ult away from a lane. He can ult to chase someone. Like it's very versatile right now. His three is very broken. Gives him 15% mit. And yeah. Moving on to Fenrir. Fenrir right now, I think is good. I think he's a good jungler. I'm not sure about him in support. I think he's a pretty good solo laner as well. If you go if you go Axe, some people Bragas, of course. Other than that, you know, in jungle you just go Sunder, fucking Bumba's hammer, and then full tank after. You just play to set up your team. It's pretty good in comp, and it's actually pretty good in ranked as well. Very hard to kill early game. Very good pressure. Definitely can get you a lot of wins. So I recommend that. Moving on to Hades. I think Hades is OP right now. This is because his items are broken as fuck. I think right now I've been going Conduit Gem on him to start off and then just start lane. I think starting lane on him is really good because you don't want to go Sunder, and if your buff gets contested or stolen by a Sunder, your game's over. So you always want to start lane. If someone invades your blue, it's fine. You clear the wave. You just walk up and invade theirs while they're stuck clearing a wave. And if they walk over to the blue that you're invading, they lose a whole wave. They're behind, right? That's usually the way the trade goes. So you start lane on him, you go Conduit, and you just go Soul Gem, Book of Thoth, Orb Shard, Poly, Stealth Crown, and Rod. And that's a really OP build. You can one-shot backliners. You just invis to initiate. 2, auto 3 someone, ult chase them, dash chase them, It's like very hard to get away. You just one-shot everybody unless they Aegis. Like, that's basically it. Hecate right now, I think Hecate, she's like edging it. I think she's top of decent. I don't think I did Tana. I think she's top of decent right now. Like, if I see Hecate on my team, I'm not like screaming like, "Oh yeah, I've got a fucking Hecate on my team. Let's go, man." You know, it's just a very average pick, borderline good. Her kit's amazing, but she's kind of like a pilot god. If you're good at the character, she's really good. If you're bad at the character, she's really bad. Her ult is amazing when used well. You have to learn how to position well with her. Her build's pretty okay. Her items are really good. That's basically it. You just go full pen, Gem of Focus, Doom Orb, etc. And yeah, she's pretty decent right now. Definitely a decent pick. Hercules. Hercules right now, we're gonna say he's unplayable. I think Hercules is in contention for the worst character in the game right now. That guy is ass. Before he even released to the servers, they literally fucking triple nerfed his CDs. Like just unfun, unplayable. Your kit is literally 12 seconds long to do anything. I think when he is good, he will be fucking OP as fuck because his new ult is crazy. His new passive is crazy. It's just his items aren't really that good. He doesn't have regrowth in the game yet. Stuff like that. And he just die late game really easily to like any ADC with some people Braggers Harp Kins, like it's really hard to make him work right now. I'd much rather do damage as Amma and Hades and Anubis than play Herc and just die in a second and do nothing. Moving on to Izanami. I think Izanami is decent. I'll probably put it below Cupid. I'll probably put it below Cupid. Yeah, I think that's how we'll order the list. And then up here, there. Izanami, basically same thing, same build. Braggar's Harp, Sunbeam Bow. You get the memo. Just a decent ADC. Pick it if there's nothing else up. Like if you're not versus CERN and Cupid is up, I'd go Uza, personally. This is because it's just more pressure than Cupid. It's a ranked game. You want pressure always. People into pressure. One of the main ways to win a ranked game. That's basically it. Jingwei, I think she's good right now. I'm gonna put her top of good. This is because the reason she's not an OP as she was the whole time. This is because she just doesn't have enough pressure to actually like carry a ranked game by herself. But as soon as the game reaches like minute 30, I'd say it's very easy to actually carry a ranked game by yourself. Literally 1v9 any game. Especially with, I mean, you can't really go some people braggers. You have to go the old build. It'd be like Devos, Exekins, maybe Deathbringer crippled, stuff like that. Jingwei, good carry. You just go even. You don't die. Minute 30, you 1v9. That's basically it. You just always want to stall out the game on her. And if you get ahead early, it's GG because you're a fed Jing. It is what it is. Khepri, I'm gonna say Khepri is actually unplayable right now. Okay, so the problem is with Khepri is that, well, for one, there's executes in the game. There's like Sobek, Thanatos, right, already in the game. He has no pressure, right? He's probably the least pressure support in the whole game, and that's bad for ranked, of course. And on Khepri, you don't really want to go Sunder. But if you don't go Sunder, you're gonna get invaded by the enemy support, and your game's just over. You've ruined your whole lane. You're forced into that relic instantly. The thing is, though, he's really good late, right? That's kind of make me. He's really good late game if you actually manage to pull it off. I'm just gonna put him in bad because it can work. It can work. I'm gonna put him above Bacchus. It can work in ranked. If I'm solo queuing, Khepri's probably my last choice. I'll be real. Solo queuing ranked, can't really carry by yourself. Probably play if I'm duo queued with my ADC or some shit. Let them carry the game, get them fed, ult them perma late game, But your early game is really at a deficit whenever you lock in that character. I wouldn't recommend it. Moving on to Kukulkan. I think Kukulkan's good right now. His build is amazing right now. You go Book of Thought, stacks out your passive. You do a lot of damage. You're very safe. You have a dash now, which is crazy. Your ult secures objectives, of course, very good. Your 3 zones, people, amazing. Build's very good. Book of Thought, Poly, stuff like that. Ob Shard, Doomorb, Gem of Focus, Rod. Not in order, of course. I'm just listing some items you can use. Loki, I think Loki's OP right now. Still very good ranked solo laner. And I'll just say, the tier list at the top isn't ordered. Everything else will be, but like all these characters are just so broken. It's like very hard to like list them. So Loki, this guy, if you want a 1v9 ranked game, the one character I'd lock in is literally Loki. That character can win the game by himself. Your one CD resets after a kill. His build is amazing right now. You can go full pen. Late game, you smack. Fucking early game, you smack. You're just strong at every point of the game. Yeah. You're very strong right now. Definitely recommend it. Move on to Mordred. Mordred, I'm gonna say, is unplayable. This character's lane in solo is piss weak. Can't do shit. Your late game's bad. Your big ult is bad. Your small ult gets cancelled so easy. You lose every lane. You don't do enough damage. You're not tanky enough. Yeah, that's basically it. His jungle can actually be okay. I wouldn't recommend it though. It doesn't really do anything. Like if I was to go a tank jungler, I'd rather much go like Odin or like even Shaq, something like that. Over Mordred. He's just kind of useless. Provides nothing really. they're gonna have to omega buff this character for him to actually be relevant again. Moving on to Neath. Now, Neath, I'm gonna say is decent. I haven't seen anyone play Neath any of my ranked games for a while. Um, but I'd assume like she used to be really OP because of Book of Thought and Trans being broken like months ago. But ever since they nerfed that, she kind of fell off a little bit. They nerfed her 2, they nerfed her 1. Um, you basically go the just a normal mage build, but just on Neath, you know, like basically the same like Anubis build, etc. You know, she's pretty good. She's solid. She won't lose your game. Probably won't carry a game from Neath either. But yeah, Nemesis, I'm gonna say is good, and I'm gonna put her top of the pack as a jungler. If I was a jungler, Loki's banned. Loki's banned. I want to carry a game. I'm picking them. This is why, because she uses Zombie Bow and Brega's Harp. She can solo objectives by herself. You walk around the map, do the Naga. You have Zombie Bow Bregas. You can just walk the gold, get the Nagas attached to it, and then just hit it and solo it by yourself. Very strong. You can get your team ahead just by doing that. Her 1v1's insane. Her shield is a mega buff from SMITE 1. It's crazy. And yeah, definitely recommend her. I think she's very underrated right now, even though she's played a lot in the tournament. New Wa, I think she's really good right now as well. Just like most mages, I'm gonna put her just below Kukulkan. Now, New Wa is crazy because her 1 gives her move speed, her passive is crazy, her 2 gives her pen. Whenever you put the minions down, you get pen, so you always want a 2 and then ult. Um, and yeah, her items are just really strong. You can play her solo and mid. Very hard to dive because of all the self peel she has. The move speed and the stun is crazy. Um, her ult just takes her into the air, can't take damage, untargetable. And yeah, that's why she's really good. Definitely recommend her, especially because she's kind of low skill as well. I'd say. No offense, of course, but that's just where I perceive her. Odin, I'm gonna put him decent. This is because I don't think Odin solo is that great right now, and Odin jungle is like oh okay, Odin jungle is pretty good. I'm gonna put Odin at the bottom of good tier because his jungle is really strong and his solo is like pretty weak. This is because like in solo he doesn't have a lot of pressure. In jungle he's very tanky, so for a lot of ganks. His kill potential is really high. His clear is really good. Just a lot of really pressure. Can't really get smacked up by a Loki or anything either until late game. Very good pick for jungle. Pretty meh pick for solo. I'd only pick him in solo if you're comfortable on him. And yeah. Moving on to Pele. I haven't seen a lot of Pele, so this might be a bad opinion, but I'm gonna put her in bad. Okay. I've only heard complaints about Pele. I don't think any of the buffs she received is significant enough to like bring her into meta. Um, I'd probably avoid this character at all costs right now until she gets Omega buffed. Because from what I hear, she's really bad. And I've played like 70 hours of ranked in the past fucking week. And I've never seen a Pele in any of my games that hasn't went 0-10. So yeah. Poseidon, really good right now. But I think he's actually worse than the rest of these mages. Is he? Yeah, I think he is. I think he's actually the worst of them. This is because his items are strong. His kit's really strong. His 3 has a cripple to it. It like you can combo this with like so back. Any CC in the game. If anyone's caught in the whirlpool, just ult them. They're forced to Aegis or they die or they beads and get out. And then you got their beads. It's very simple, very easy to use. And yeah, it does a lot of damage. That's basically it. You've got the same build as all the rest of these mages. Very easy to play. You know, that's basically it. Raw, I'm gonna say Raw is decent. Okay, this is because the reason he's bottom of decent is because I think he's pretty bad in mid, and I think I'd say he's like top tier decent in solo, and this is because they literally nerfed him like 4 or 5 times in a row because his auto attack proc build was very broken in solo. And I think he was just always a bad mid laner. Uh, just comparing it to the rest of these rosters, like the roster of gods and mid, he just seems very weak. Definitely needs some buffs, especially for mid. I think if he gets buffed for solo, I think that'll be very bad for the game. Yeah. Moving on to Sobek, I think this pick is OP, especially in ranked. If I'm supporting ranked and Sobek's open, I'm locking that in. Very high pressure. Kill a lot of bad ADCs, kill a lot of bad supports. You have a lot of peel. You have an execute now, finish off kills. Just extreme pressure. Very good right now. Moving on to Sol. I'm gonna say she's bottom tier bad. This is like the worst ADC you could lock in at the moment. Even though she has a lot of pressure, she's not very survivable. I mean, like Seagyll Bragas is good, does a lot of damage, but you have to really steamroll in that game. You're kind of useless because you have no survivability. All you have is your tree. That's basically it. Definitely the worst ADC right now. I'd pick anything over here. And yeah. Susanoo, I'm gonna say he is decent. I'm gonna put him just above Izza. This is because he used to be really broken. They significantly nerfed him ever since he was in the game before. Just hasn't had the same impact since his launch in SMITE 2. And I think it's really shown. No one really plays him. He doesn't do enough damage. His ult feels weak. It's just needs some buffs again, and he'll be back up there. But other than that, he's just like a worse version of Loki, in my opinion. Thor right now, I think Thor jungle right now is good. I think Thor solo right now is pretty bad. Thor jungle is always good because when you're not on the map, you have just constant map pressure. No one knows when you're gonna ult, where you're gonna ult. Unless there's wards, of course, and you walk over them. That's the only time your map pressure goes away. Other than that, still a very strong kit. His ult's OP. Global ult. CC chain. His wall. Wall is a long range CC. It's just always broken. You can play off that in team fights, late game, early game. You can wall people off. It's just crazy. Very good, very good. You have to be a good pilot at this character. If you're very bad at the character, I probably wouldn't recommend playing Thor until you learn him in casuals or something. And that's basically it. Yamoja, okay. Yamoja's really OP in competitive, but for ranked, I'm gonna say, like, if you're a good Yamoja player, you should play her, of course. I'm gonna put her at the bottom of good tier because most players aren't gonna lock her in, of course. She's probably the most high skilled character in the game. You have to be really good at her to actually lock her in and actually carry the game. And actually be like useful on her. If you're bad at her, I really recommend practicing her. If you're a support main, she's very good in comp, very good in ranked. You can get a lot of wins with her by yourself. You do a lot of damage. You have a lot of setup, and yeah. Other than that, should be OP, but most players shouldn't play her. Actually, you know what? I'll put her in OP. Just don't play her if you're bad at her. Okay, guys. Uh, Unless you learn her in casuals. Okay. Ymir, I'm gonna put him in decent. I'd say if there's no other supports, if Sobek, Yamoja, Baron are all gone, Afro's gone, you know, I'll be turning my eyes over to Ymir. He's still very high pressure. He's a wall. He's high kill potential. With his really OP fucking basic attacks early game. A lot of ADCs might die to that. You can invade level 1 really easy because you're like the strongest level 1 character in the game. And yeah, that's basically it. Lots of setup. Objective secure result. And moving on to Zeus, I think Zeus is. Is he really good? I think he is. I'm gonna put him above Athena. He's really good in ADC. He's really good in mids. That's why he's up there, very high up. You can go Sunbeam Braga's build with shifters and berserkers and ADC, pump damage, unkillable. It's crazy. He's like an unkillable demon king in ADC. And in mid, You just go the mage mid build, pump damage. Literally, you hit one chain lightning in a late game team fight, you win the whole game. Very simple character. Just gotta learn how to position, play safe really, and yeah, you can own on him in ranked. Now moving on to Medusa. I think Medusa is OP right now. She's easily a top tier ADC. I'm not sure how she fares into the rest of these ADCs because we haven't got to see her get played in the tournament because they weren't available yet, obviously. But I definitely think she's broken right now. Her kit's kind of crazy. Very bloated damage. You can build her like a ability base. You can build her auto attack. It's criminal. Shaq. I think Shaq right now. I think Shaq right now is good, and this is because he used to be broken, but they really nerfed all the CD items that he abused in the game. I think his build really fell off. You have to discover a new build. You have to go tank, Shaq, which I'm not really a fan of myself. I think he's a really good solo laner. If you're like auto filled into solo and you just want to not lose your team in the game, I'd go Shaq. Thanatos, I think Thanatos right now is actually high tier decent. I'd say he's better than Sasano. Um, his ult's really good. His one does a lot of damage. If he two and then one, it's a shit ton of damage. Very underrated right now. I don't see a lot of people playing him. He's definitely played in the tournament, but not really a lot. Definitely recommend it if you want to try and 1v9 the game. Just like a mini Loki that's better than Sasano. Yeah. Lastly, moving on to Morgan. I think Morgan is also a crazy pilot character, just like Emoja. And this is where you have to be good at her to actually make use of her and her passive and like all the items and her engage and everything. Um, if you're really good at Morgan and you're like a one trick, you should play her. She's very broken. You can steal the enemy person's relic or like your ally's relic. Whoever you turn into, you steal their relic. You can use it. You can use their whole kit. You can use all their active items. You can use their whole. It's fucking crazy right now. She's very fun. I recommend it. I've got like 1.5k worshippers on her right now. I think my highest worshipper got by like 750. That's how much fun I've been having with her. And yeah, I definitely recommend it. Play soul lane with her. You can play support with her if you go tanky, and you can go mid with her as well. Even jungle, to be honest. She's very versatile. You just have to play around your old CD. And build a lot of CD early. And yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. If there's anything else you guys want to see, or want to see me do in my next couple of YouTube videos, let me know. I'm gonna try my best to get one daily upload each day, for you guys. And yeah, hopefully I'll be getting a webcam soon enough, so you guys can see me. It would be amazing. And yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, share with all your friends. Join my Discord down in the description. We're going to be streaming every day live. I'm going to try and get at least 4 hours each day. Sometimes I might go longer. I might go 8 hours, 10 hours, go on an absolute grussel. But yeah, definitely check that out, guys. And peace.